Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. It's the channel that I continue to call Work in Progress, always evolving. Yes, it is still a rather new channel. I don't even know when a channel is no longer new, but I'm going to call it still new. And a channel where I definitely am inspired to have conversations with everyday people just like you and me, meaning everyday people, right, that are just navigating through life with the challenges that are definitely, for most of us today, right in our face, so to speak. But also to share our struggles, our challenges, but our successes, the things we've been through. And the whole purpose of this idea of having these conversations is to help one another. Because I truly believe as we share stories, you could be in a conversation with anybody, maybe somebody you even get in a conversation with at the grocery store, and you share a story, and there's something that happens from that sharing. And we also discover we're more alike than not alike. So, if this idea inspires you, I would love for you to look below this video and click on the link that gives you contact to me. The contact link, how should I say that? Yeah. And let's see if we can't have a conversation. So today I don't know if this can be seen. I'm wearing Spread Kindness t-shirt. I don't ever hardly wear t-shirts that have writing or something like that. But for some reason I was really kind of guided to get this t-shirt, and it's to remind me. It's not to be out to others. It's really to remind me to be kind to myself first, because this is what I talk about a lot, as you know. And that allows me then to be kind to others. So that's why this shirt today. I just felt like I needed to be kinder to myself today, maybe. And maybe some of you, this will be a good reminder. So today what I want to talk about is this whole idea of letting go. And what does it mean, and how does it happen, and what is the process, or is there a process? I have been really almost pestering my guides to give me some help, to help me out, because this is a place where I feel so stuck, where with this whole idea of just letting go. And this morning it was interesting. I woke up in that kind of half awake, half asleep moment, and I just got this sensation. It was actually in my body, but there were words to it as well. As what a relief it would be to totally let go, surrender to the moment. It felt like this weight was taken off my shoulders, that just the idea to quit thinking or quit believing that there's a doer here in control of my life, and that I have to be working all the time to make sure things happen in a certain way. When I say working all the time, meaning trying to manipulate life, right? And so that things come out the way I think they should, or somebody may behave the way I think they should. These are things that come up, not nearly as much as they used to. I have to say that. And I catch myself often when they do. But it's still there. There's still that underlying feeling of I need to control things. I need to for me to be okay, because underneath that is a huge amount of fear, which doesn't make sense even when I talk about it. The fear is if I let go of my what do I want to call it, my behavior, or my feeling, or my sense that I need to be concerned, I need to worry about something. And it isn't even a need, it's something that just seems to happen when life presents certain things to me. Then that triggers this whole idea of I've got to be in control, or I've got to be taking care of something. It's inside, deep buried, it feels like, in a way. And I don't want it. So now I'm in resistance. That's what happens. I know. I begin to get in a lot of resistance to not letting go. I mean, it's insane. It is totally insane, but it's what's going on. And I really want to, I desire strongly to get to that place of just being with what's happening in the moment, period. Without the conversation, without the judgment, without the oh my God or any of that. Without life having to present itself in a perfect way, you know? I mean, that could work, I guess. If life presents itself exactly like I want it to, then you know what? I can be in the moment. But guess what? We're in a 3D world. We're in opposites. We're in, I am for sure, where, you know, the judgments come in, the concerns. The underlying thing is fear. It's tremendous fear that if we let go, we're unsafe, right? It's deep, deep fear for most of us to really how to accept or believe, trust probably is the word, to really trust that we just can let life be as it is. Because it's perfect, because life takes care of itself. It knows how to do life. I don't know. There's, you know, I know nothing in that sense. And there's no doer here. But I want to believe in that false self, that imaginary self that I created to feel safe. And I know in one part of me, I am really clear that none of that is true, you know? And there are days and times when I can absolutely get to that place of just letting life flow through me. But I have to admit, it's usually during the easier times when life's not, you know, presenting me with a challenge or a big challenge, maybe even a small challenge I can do that with. And I can't do it in my head, right? We can't do it in our intellect, like trying to work it out in our mind, because it can't happen that way. It can't be worked out that way. It has to happen on an internal level, right? Through awareness, through consciousness. So I wake up this morning with that sense. I mean, I wanted back that feeling. It was like just freedom, a relief, a like, I don't know, just had a moment of it. Even I don't even know it was moment. It was probably seconds, but it definitely impacted me. It definitely made an impression on me, no doubt. So then I haven't been I'm doing my yoga practice regularly. I don't know what, I've been busy and whatever. Anyway, today was the day I said I'm starting back to my yoga practice because that's very important to me, and that really helps me, I don't know, helps me relax, work with the body, so forth. So I get into my yoga practice and I begin to notice in certain poses, really, particularly certain poses, how tight I was because I hadn't been doing on a regular basis. So everything was kind of tight, right? And it was painful. It hurt. It was not comfortable. But in a yoga pose, what I typically do is I stay with it, right? And then what happens at some point as I'm staying with this pose is the body starts to just, it's the body that's doing it in the first place. I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. The body is doing the pose. And then I notice how the body starts to relax in a way, or the tension lessens as the body starts to move deeper into the pose. Now, you know, there's times it gets too painful, and so I stop. I say, no, that's enough of that pose. And that happens several times today. Again, because I haven't been doing my practice, I'm feeling the pain of the tension. But while I'm in this practice, in my yoga practice today, something comes to mind that says, this is what letting go is. Just exactly what you're feeling in the body. Yes, getting to the complete place of completely letting go can be painful. That's why what you've been feeling. This is whoever is talking to me through my body. That it is not comfortable, but it's okay. Nothing's wrong with it. And if I can stay with the painful part and let it just kind of move into a pose, so to speak, in other words, quit thinking I need to control something, and it isn't, and that's not a good word. That's not what I want to say. I don't want to say quit, because that's like there's a doer here to quit. What is it? It's just relaxing into the whatever is there. If it's painful in my mind because I'm feeling unsafe and very frightened, terrorized, whatever it is, can I just allow that to be without resistance, without judging? Just let it be, just like I do in my yoga pose. I just let it be as long as I can. And eventually certain poses, become much easier and more pleasant and a more relaxed feeling. And some poses stay difficult at times, but it's a practice, right? So if I could, this is what went on in my mind, or a sense that came, or maybe it was my guide speaking to me, I don't know. But it started to become kind of a clear mantra in a way. I started to kind of embody or embrace this idea of letting go is an exact way that I let go into a yoga pose. And to be perfectly okay, in fact, it's perfect that I'm feeling some discomfort in the sense of unsafe or whatever that feels like, frightened, that is the perfect, it's perfect. It's doing exactly what it needs to do, just like my body does exactly what it needs to do in a yoga pose. And in the beginning, it's like when I first get into a pose, it is painful. Now there's variations of that pain. But it's uncomfortable. And then, through doing the yoga practice on a more regular basis than I have been, then little by little, those poses get more comfortable, more natural, and without resistance, right? The body just does it. It knows how. And it doesn't mean that I can just pick any pose and say, oh, I can do that. Like, there's levels of difficulty in yoga, of poses that are more difficult than others. And I kind of pretty much know my range in that, because there is a range in it. But it really is so much to me, like after this was experiential, so it wasn't in my head. That was good. It was an experience. And that the letting go of the stuff in life, the worry, the fear, the concern, the judgment, letting go in those areas is exactly like letting go in a yoga pose. Exactly. Allowing it, whatever the resistance is, the discomfort is, allowing it to be there without judgment. And that's what I have to do in yoga. If I start judging why I'm not doing this pose, or I'm start to, beat myself up, I should be doing it, or I haven't been doing my yoga practice enough, and yada yada, then, forget it, game over. But most of the time for me, I can be in that just letting go and releasing, because I've had the experience of what that's like, right? So I know that's the movement forward. That's the movement. It's natural. Nothing's wrong with it. In fact, it's absolutely the way it happens and the way it has to happen. yeah, when I get into the other part of resisting something in life or wanting to control because I'm fearful or feel unsafe, all that stuff, I don't look at the discomfort. I haven't. Now I am going to, but I haven't looked at the discomfort as it's normal. It's the way. It's the way. It's the way to allow, accept, and be in the moment with life, right? To absolutely be in the comfort and knowing there's no doer here doing anything. Life is just flowing through, and to have that knowingness or that trust, whatever we want to call it, it's really kind of a knowingness for me in many areas. That, well, I'll use yoga again. It's a knowingness that if I can just breathe, relax into the pose, that eventually the difficulty or the painful part eases, right? And it's normal. That's the way yoga works. So I wanted to make this video right today as I went through this process, because I don't know, maybe, I hope it makes sense, first of all, but I also think maybe it'll help someone out there, if you've been struggling like a lot of us are, really, about under these challenging times right now as we're going through this evolutionary process and trying to move out of this duality. The energies are really intense, and so it almost feels like it's pushing us back, but really what it's doing, the intensity of the energies, is it's pushing it out, like out of the cocoon or out of the bird's nest through the, excuse me, through the discomfort is where we're getting pushed out. But at times it can feel like it's pushing us back, I know, at least for me, maybe for you too. So, I hope that this might help some of you. Now, maybe if you've never done yoga, this isn't going to even resonate or make sense. But maybe any kind of exercise, just like if you're, going to the gym and working with weights. You know that you have to start with a certain weight, so you begin to build muscle and build your tolerance for that weight. And then at some point, that weight is like just happening. The body's picking up that weight and there's no problem. And at that point, you can shift to a more difficult weight, so to speak, or a weight that is going to challenge you a bit. And that's what I think this process is of letting go of the false identity, letting go of thinking there's control out here, I've got to be in control, and not doing it through the mind, because that won't work, but actually doing it through a process of just letting it be, knowing this is perfectly normal, this is the way it works. And as I'm starting to go through this, I'll be sharing more about this, because I am definitely dedicated to working with it this way. And I'm not going to attach to an outcome, just like never in yoga. I don't attach to outcomes. I'm not competitive in that way. I just let it happen, right? And go with the flow of that. So I'm going to be in that same mindset, or certainly planning to be in that same mindset. Now, there's no me to do that. Got that. Okay. But it's a place I can practice. Yeah, practice. It's a practice of the pose of letting go, It's still in the body. It's the body that's in the letting go process. It's the body that's kind of letting go of the fear and the unsafe. It's something that's, been a program or conditioning through growing up, just part of the human experience, I think, and as we're trying to move into higher vibrations. And so it's an intense energy. However, it's an energy moves, so we can move through that, move through it. I don't know what else I can say about this, because it's really a focus. It's just a focus on working with energy. And, that sense that I felt upon waking up this morning of the freedom and the, like, a weight being taken off of my shoulders. It was like, whoa. That's motivating me, no doubt about it. No doubt. I mean, because I can know in my head or think in my head or listen to other people talk about the letting go and no longer being, caught up in the doership. But then it's in my head. But this time I actually had this experience. So I'm going to hold on to that as well. Meaning, use that when as the, what do I want to say, as part of why I'm motivated to do this. Maybe that's it. And there is no I to be motivated, right? But it's just happening. Okay, I'm probably talking in circles right now. I feel pretty, on one level, excited to share this with you, and excited for myself to begin this practice, and also at the same time being very clear that I'm not attached to an outcome. And I'm trying to, in a way, I want to get it clear. So I'm then, out of wanting to get it clear, I'm probably over explaining. So I'm going to stop now. And first of all, remind you that if you'd like to have a conversation with me about your particular experience or what you've been through that you'd like to share so others could learn from that or get help from that, and we can discover that we're more alike than not alike, then please click below on that link that is my contact information. And also, it'd be great if you liked the video to click like, and I'm hoping that if you haven't subscribed to my videos, then please subscribe. And the last thing that I want to mention, because I started the video with this, is the spread kindness. And, this is something I think it's an awareness that grows. And for me, that's what it feels like. And the more I can be aware of being kind to myself and being conscious when I'm not, when I'm, thinking I'm really giving myself a hard time, beating myself up emotionally, and catching that, then that's where I can let that move through me, right? So kindness starts within. And I don't think it's so easy. But again, it's just practice, right? So kindness starts within. So I really want to support you and encourage you to be kind to yourself. Okay? With that said, I'm going to click off. Until next time, take care. And if you've watched these videos before, I have a little clicker that I click off, and I don't know, can't seem to click off in one time. I'm doing it more often and only 2 times, so maybe I'm getting better at it. Anyway, take care. See you soon. Oh, it's going to take 3 clicks today.